Home. Chapter 23. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. Artwork provided by XAA. You can find a link to the artist's Tumblr in the description box below. As usual, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, comment on the video, hit the bell. You know my opening intro routine by now, so if you're still listening, comment Intro Squad in the description box. In the comment section. Wow, I am on autopilot today. Anyway, Chapter 23. Marinette Dupang Chang. Marinette stared at Cat Noir, frozen mid-scream pose and trying to figure out how long he'd been there. Whether it'd only been the last 10 seconds or the moment she entered, both were bad news. So instead, she played it off the only way she could. Marinette hopped to the floor, pressed both hands to his cheeks until his lips puckered out like a fish, and sucked in a breath. "Where have you been?" she nearly yelled, knowing the answer. "You can't just fall off the face of the earth like that for a week without a word."
I actually came to ask you on a date," Cat replied, his face still squished between her hands.
"Even if you..." What? That wasn't the answer she expected. He took her hands in his and smiled as he removed them. "A date? You and me. Formally." "A date? With me?" "I meant it when I said home is where you are, Marinette. Sure, my life this past week wasn't bad without you, but I don't want some all-powerful, cocaine state-inducing relationship. I'm a person in my own right, but I'd rather be a person with you." Heartfelt proclamations weren't on the list of outcomes she'd expected when she jumped off the bed. "I thought you were in love with Ladybug," she said, emphasizing it with a sing-song voice. "I think I used the word love without realizing the weight it carries. And yes, I will always love her, but I like you. I want to go on a date with you." If only he knew they were one and the same. Would he still ask for a date then? If he knew she was the one who so harshly took his identity from him? What? Absence makes the heart grow fonder? Something like that. He raised her fingertips to his lips, hovering there as he peeked upward for eye contact. She took her hand back before he could do anything more, hot with anticipation. "Is what I'm wearing appropriate?" "Sure." He took her hand back and led her downstairs. "If it weren't daylight," he added, "I would have taken you by rooftop." "Where are we going?" "It's hot outside, Mare. Ice cream, of course." "From Andre? Didn't he take this week off for a vacation?" "From the cheese store. T.S. opened an ice cream counter." "An ice cream store inside a cheese store? Well, stranger things have happened in Paris." He led her down the block and into the farmhouse-style cheese store, nodding to 2 tables with chairs in the back. "May I interest you in a hot sandwich first, little lady?" Little lady. Not my lady. Marinette smiled to herself. Cute. That was a cute name. Prosciutto and ham?" she asked, unsure what they offered. "Perfect." He ran to the counter and talked to a guy who seemed extra friendly to him, judging by the way they exchanged jokes, and stood talking as the sandwiches cooked. 5 or so minutes later, he trotted back, their food in hand as he tried to balance bottles of orange juice in the cradle of his arm. "You got it?" she asked, reaching out to help him put their meal on the table. "Yeah. Hope you don't mind me ordering 2 for myself.
I get quite hungry after Akuma fights.
Marinette nodded, understanding more than he knew. Don't worry. I can probably out-eat you.
Is that a challenge?
He looked her dead in the eye as he bit into his sandwich. The red sauce of his meatball sub bled over the bread, a mouth-watering sight. Loser pays?
Hey, Leon, Cat called out. Can we get another for the lady?
The worker gave a thumbs up and Cat proceeded to hunker down his food, leaving Marinette with eyebrows raised before she realized they were already competing. Okay, 2 can play at that game. Just make sure I don't need to beat your ribcage, too.
Huh?
I'm telling you not to choke, she said, her mouth full of sandwich. She had to take a drink to help it down. By the time he was on his 4th sandwich, she was finishing her 2nd, wondering how the boy could scarf down so many carbs at once, but wasn't giving in just yet. She ordered a 3rd, with avocado in it this time, and burped herself as she waited. Truthfully, she didn't think she could finish another, much less go for a 4th one, but she wanted the appearance of competition, at least. Granted, 1 sandwich would be more than enough had she not just finished an Akuma fight. I guess I'm paying, Marinette burped, patting her now bloated stomach. He'd managed to hunker down 5 sandwiches. Did this boy not eat or something?
For the ice cream, yeah.
The ice cream?
Don't tell me you didn't save room.
I always have room, she shot back.
Good.
Cat pointed to the TS brand ice cream parlor through a glass door. What? Marinette hadn't realized the shop was connected to another. Patting her stomach, she got up and held the door for him, ignoring the joke he made before following him in, happy to hear the doorbell chime. He ended up getting a bowl while she got a waffle cone, and they sat on the outside patio, leaning over the wooden table provided as they talked like no time passed. Marinette did her best to ignore the gnawing guilt in her stomach as she ate her ice cream, but it felt like she would simply burst if she didn't confess. No, Marinette. That's why there are rules, to prevent blurb-ups like yours. How much screaming did you hear? She asked, unable to stop herself. Hopefully he didn't say all of it or something like that. Her heart stopped when she realized that if he had heard all of it, then he might have seen her transform from Ladybug to Marinette. No! Oh no! The last thing she wanted was the guy she liked hating her for being a hypocrite.
Something about a hydro kid? You yelled as I entered the room. Kinda took me off guard, to be honest.
Cat took another bite of ice cream as she sighed in relief. Good. Then he didn't know she was Ladybug. It's nothing, she said, shrugging it off. Glad you're safe after an Akuma like that. He chuckled to himself.
Thanks.
But seriously, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a hot minute.
Ladybug had my Miraculous this week.
Marinette would have choked had she been eating anything other than ice cream.
Oh! Yeah, but she gave it back to me, so it's all good.
She had someone deliver it to you? He wrinkled his forehead and turned to look at her.
No. She gave it to me herself.
I mean, like... She tried to think of a way to make her sound less suspicious. You know how you told me she sends you to give Carapace or Queen Bee their Miraculous sometimes?
She gave it to me face to face. She gave it back to me face to face.
His attention was back on his ice cream, almost nonchalant. No. No, she'd given his miraculous to Adrian out of desperation. In fact, Adrian asked for the miraculous, so... Something clicked in her brain, freezing like the after effects of eating ice cream. Ladybug gave the miraculous to Adrian. Cat said she gave it directly to him. Oh. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 24 is on its way. In the meantime, you can check out other videos on this channel. For more fanfiction, hit the bell so that you get notified when chapter 24 comes out if you're watching this as it comes out instead of just binge watching it at the end. No big deal for those who do. I understand. Trust me, I get it. If you are still listening, comment ... Oh for your comment. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!